What? What is wrong with you? Sore that we didn't get freight shipments. Well, you're gonna have to suck it up. The first city is always rough. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to PyroFalkon's Let's Play Extravaganza, where it's your Let's Play 2. As you can tell from the title screen, today we're starting a new series. It is SimCity, Cities of Tomorrow. Now, even though it is a new series, we have done this game before, as you might be able to glean from the title of this video. I did do a series of it 4 years ago, roughly around to the day, actually. And we did a lot of work with SimCity. I involved you guys. We named all the cities after you, but we never finished what we were trying to accomplish. It was mostly because SimCity, well, as you may know, wasn't exactly the greatest game that ever launched correctly. It was a mess. You're welcome, buddy. It was an absolute mess, and I don't know, it just lost its interest, not just from us. Okay, thank you. Okay, tutorials. Maybe I should have turned all that off. Yes, I know. Thank you. Let's turn those tutorials off. So, not only did the game not do all that well at launch, but it was also sort of a mess with the series itself when we did it on the show, because, I mean, you can't really make a good game, or you can't really make a bad game good, you know, if it's sort of a mess to begin with. And it was no secret that SimCity launched terribly. Sorry, I'm not speaking, I'm doing some math in my head. I'm actually trying to do a few techniques that I learned in... I forgot how the system worked. As you can tell, I'm sort of winging this. And I believe... was it Shift? Control? Control did everything. So... we did finish Cities Skyline. You can find that on the channel as well. But I wanted to go back to the original SimCity, or I shouldn't say the original, I should say I wanted to go back to this SimCity, SimCity 5, SimCity 2013, however you want to term it. And wind blows camera west, so if I put my power plant over yonder... Ooh. Mixing up my controls because it's been so long. So, I just wanted to see how it holds up. And I'm not sure if this is interesting to too many other people, but I've always wanted to explore the way games evolve. And can I turn off edge scrolling? Because that's going to drive me a little batty. Yes, thank you. Think that'll work. Yes, good. If I remember right, something's wacky with power, right? Yeah, power is just carried by straights. Yeah, I remember now. So, I wanted to go back and revisit SimCity 5 or SimCity 2013 or just SimCity, however you want to call it, and just play around with it. I have no real end goal for this game. I don't know if I'm going to stick with the whole series. Sure. And I totally forgot that you got missions here. It's been a while. I have been playing a lot of Cities Skyline, even recently. The graphics are just so much worse. But I mean, it's been 4 years, right? And I think Cities Skylines came out 2016? Or did it come out 2015? Came out 2015, that's right. So, I don't know. I just wanted to give it a shot, you know? See how the game had evolved. I was also curious if there had been very many patches that came out, and I believe there were 10 major patches, plus I have the Cities of Tomorrow expansion pack. But they sort of gave up on the game, and I get it. I honestly do get it, because, you know, this game wasn't all that good. But was it really as bad as we remember it being? Or is it just because we had certain expectations that the game never fulfilled. And that's what I'm trying to learn today. I want to know if the game was really as bad as we all thought it was back then. So, wow, that is not where I wanted that, but okay. Cool. I can stick it there. No problem. So, my first little bit I'm doing here, not only trying to do some intelligence with my streets here, I learned the hard way that four-way intersections are really bad for traffic. Oh yeah. Four-way intersections are bad for traffic, and one technique I found in cities' skylines that worked really well is what I call bricks. It's this system. Because if you make your entire city look like this, it's not going to be very pretty, but everything is going to be a three-way intersection at most. You want to avoid four-way intersections as much as possible. I remember traffic was a really, really serious problem when the game first came out. And one solution to the traffic problem originally was to, if I remember right, it was to make one road, like one line of road for your entire town, so it looked like a game of Snake. And it worked because the city, or the cars wouldn't mind going all the way down. Let's see, I've got, boom. The cars wouldn't mind going all the way to the end of the road and turning around, just as long as traffic moved smoothly, which it did in that case. So that was kind of weird, and I don't know, it was really goofy. But by the time I actually learned that technique, I'd already moved on from this game. But, you know, like I said, I want to come back to it, see if it's improved at all, and see what I can do. I don't know, maybe I'll enjoy it more this time. You never know. So, right now, again, no real plans here. If you have any suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. Oh, and I need to get my disclaimer out of the way immediately before I forget, even though I say that 7.5 minutes in. This game was given to me for free by IGN Entertainment, because back then I wrote the strategy guide for it. And you can even still find some tutorial videos on this channel, although a lot of the information on that is outdated because I did those tutorial videos on version 1, maybe version 1.01. So I know a lot has been changed, and in fact the game evolved over the course of me doing my main Let's Play series. The size of the city is still and has always been a concern. It's so tiny and you can't expand. What do you want? So my first episode here... Sure, I'll make a church once we get the cash. So, once, my first goal here is to try to remind myself how to even play, because there are a few hard and fast rules I do remember. No, don't destroy the building. There are a few hard and fast rules I do remember, whether it's from what... Yes, thank you. Whether it's from what I learned myself or picking up tips from others. But one of the things that people do, the #1 rookie mistake in all SimCity games, is you build too much too fast. Zones don't cost you anything, but building too many roads, too many services, especially the services will absolutely kill you if you build too many of them. So even though it feels like you're being mean to your people, it's best for them. Yes, I know I'm running low on cash. Perhaps I got a little too carried away again already. It's best for your people not to give them anything they want until they need it. Now, sewer you can't do anything about, water you can't do anything about. Although I suppose you could probably delay water for a while. And I know the way this game works, and part of the reason I wanted to come back to it so bad is because all your cities sort of work together in SimCity. Unlike city skyline where every city is sort of in its own universe, I guess you could say. I was really intrigued with the way cities get along with each other in SimCity, and always have. It isn't just this one. It was true back in SimCity 4, I think. I know SimCity... Actually, I think it was all the way back in SimCity 2000 that it worked, yeah? Because I know in SimCity 3, your city existed next to 4 neighbors that you could never see, and they were AI controlled. But you could hook them up, buy and sell power and water and garbage and all that. But SimCity 4 really mastered it because you could give basically anything to the cities and buy anything from the cities, and vice versa. It was a very cool concept, and I really liked it, and I thought SimCity 5 did that part well, especially the multiplayer aspect. I know the multiplayer thing upset a lot of people, but I feel the multiplayer thing upset people because it was executed wrong, not because the idea was bad. In fact, I think the core idea was brilliant. And I always wanted to play SimCity with 15 friends. I don't have 15 friends, but 15 friends are fans, and make an actual region and work together and help each other and create something beautiful. Unfortunately, EA kind of screwed the pooch on it, or Maxis did. I think Maxis blames themselves, whatever. So, I know there's a way. Oh, I forgot that that was a thing. You could add little dealies. Let's see, I cannot control expenses right now. But I can take out a loan if I absolutely need to. Which I do not want to do. Let's go to triple speed. Oh boy. I am punching back, but not... Oh, there we go. Turn to profit. Awesome. Whew, that was close. Alright, so... the other reason I wanted to come back to the game, not only because I wanted to re-experience how fun the building of great works and having the cities coordinate with each other was. This is going to sound really infantile, but I don't really care. I like the bright colors. Although, ironically, the colors of this game are more washed out than I remember. It's partly because I've been playing SimCity Build It, I think is what it's called. It's a game on Android. It's a Facebook-like game where it's time-blocked and you essentially need to pay real money to do things faster, and if you don't do that, then you're basically only playing 5 minutes at a time. And, you know, love it or hate it with that kind of business and that kind of gaming model, it is what it is. And I've been playing around with it idly. I have not dropped real money on it, but I like the colors, and that's what I think might be a little infantile. I like bright colors, I like shiny colors, and one thing I've always loved about the SimCity series, at least for definitely the first 3, possibly SimCity 4 as well, there was a much brighter color palette. Everything popped. The reds were more red, the greens were more green. I thought SimCity 5 was the same, but this looks a little muted to me, although I know there are color options you can do to make it appear vibrant. Let's try that. Yeah, that's a little bit more what I was thinking of and used to. So, it was making me think of my childhood because, or rather I should say it was making me think of a particular line regarding childhood in general. What game was that brought that up? Oh, it was To the Moon. Have you guys ever played To the Moon? To the Moon was an RPG that went over pretty damn well, even though it was not really even an RPG per se. It was just, it was a... I don't know, it was made in RPG Maker, but there were no RPG elements. You basically just listened to the story. And one of the characters in To the Moon mentions to another character something to the effect of, have you read a book, some kind of book from his youth, and she asks this question when they were both teenagers. And the boy says something to the effect of, no, I'm too old for that now. You know, I don't read that kind of stuff anymore. And the girl says, well, why not? Like, it doesn't matter, does it? No matter how old you are or young you are. And they leave the question hang. And I found that, what do you call it? That line of, you suck. I found that line of, not theory, what do you call it? That line of questioning? No, that train of thought, I guess. I found that subject fascinating because as I'm getting older, I'm starting to do more childish things, I guess, or maybe not that. Maybe it's more, as I'm getting older, I'm being more comfortable enjoying some of the things I enjoyed as a kid. Like I've mentioned on the show before, I'm a huge fan of Legos, and I will always love Legos. And in fact, I'm sitting, literally, on a $100 Lego set now that I haven't built yet. And I mean, you could say I'm too old for it, but one of the things about the way the world is going right now is it's more acceptable now to do so-called childish things than it was back when I grew up in the 90s. And I've noticed that I am attracted to bright, shiny colors. And I think that's one reason why I like Mario games so much, because if you pull up any HD Mario game, like any of the new Super Mario Brothers, like new Super Mario Brothers Wii U especially, is so vibrant and beautiful and pretty and primary colors everywhere. It just appeals to my aesthetic senses. I love it. So I wanted to try SimCity 5 because the colors of cities' skylines are very muted and very... I wouldn't even say... I don't know if they're realistic or not, because I guess I can't really tell. But they do seem muted. It seems a little bit more serious and somber, whereas SimCity 5 by comparison feels more like a toy box. It feels more fun. Nothing, and I'm not saying City Skyline isn't fun. In fact, objectively, I like City Skylines better than I like this game. But there was just... What is wrong with you? Sore that we didn't get freight shipments. Well, you're gonna have to suck it up. The first city is always rough. So... I don't know, man. I just wanted to experience this game one more time. And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe like even talking about this doesn't matter. Like I've always felt you should do what you want to do, what you find fun, as long as no one else is getting hurt. Who cares, you know? It's why we have adults who watch children's shows still. It's why adults play video games even when you're not supposed to, quote unquote. I don't know. Anyway, so maybe with the vibrant color scheme it'll be a bit better. It does look kind of nice. It's nice to finally come home. Oh yeah, I haven't done a church yet. But now we're making a pretty solid profit. I think that was my mistake. This road is unnecessary, and if I delete it, I'll probably get a little bit more back for my profit, because I know... At least I believe roads count? Don't roads have an upkeep cost? Maybe they don't. Doesn't look like they do. So I just threw away a little bit of cash. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Anyway, I just threw a little bit of cash at the outset when I didn't need to. Trying to remember how to play. Things will go a lot more smoothly after this episode. Oh, and by the way, I did, prior to playing the game, I ran some tests to make sure everything functioned correctly. And I went into the multiplayer category because if I remember right, the last time we played, the single player didn't even exist yet. And EA had pulled some sort of excuse about it needs all the computers of the internet to help calculate blah blah blah. Is such a dumb excuse. But anyway, I went into the multiplayer category, and it turns out that my old city, my old region that had that was named after you guys, does still exist. So if you want me to resume that whole thing, because we did like 80 some odd episodes, if you want me to resume that, I'm open to doing so. We did have an end term goal there and we just never got to it. So maybe we'll do that. But for now, this one I'm just trying to remind myself how to play, and I'm just kind of enjoying it. I'm just kind of chilling out with a bottle of Pepsi and a nice night where the Akamura is not home, and just chilling out with my microphone and my games. Yeah. So if you enjoy what we do here, please consider donating to me on Patreon. We finally have that set up. The link to that is in the video description. And right now, the Patreon has just basically been started. So you can donate as little as $1 if you want. And all the money right now is going to my grocery bills. Every dime. Like, I'm not making very much through Patreon or YouTube. It's all going to food right now. So if you can donate even as little as $1, then it will make a serious impact in my life, and I would greatly appreciate anything you could give me. But if not, that's okay too, because I'm going to still keep making content, and I'm going to keep expanding Terra Town here, hopefully beyond just a small collection of buildings with 400 people in it. And I forgot about that too, that the population count always seemed off with SimCity 5. I don't know. Anyway, so we're going to continue building up Terra Town in the next episode. And I promise things are going to get smoother from here. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for another episode.